Nothing, but he sees her. Narration. He looked at me like I wasn't invisible, but didn't say a word. Not that day. Not any day after. 1 week later, Whiten sees him practicing again. This time, she gathers courage and approaches slowly, Whiten nervously. Hi, I am not here to bother you. I just wanted to say your music is really beautiful. He stops playing, turns toward her, eyes soft, but lips unmoving. He nods once, then lifts the violin again. Whiten smiling. You don't talk much, huh? Pause, that's okay. I talk too much sometimes anyway. He smiles faintly, the first time she sees his lips curve. Even just a little, it stays with her for days. Narration. I didn't even know his name then. But somehow, his silence didn't feel like distance. It felt like patience. Like he was waiting for the right time to speak, or for someone to understand him without words. Back to present. Music class. Professor gives a surprise announcement. Professor, for your final project, you'll be paired with someone outside. You're majored to create an emotional piece, music and visual art. Combined. You'll be working closely for the next 6 weeks. The pairings are randomly selected. YN bites her lip, nervous. Professor reads the list. Professor, Kim Tae-hyung, and YN. YN freezes. Her eyes widen. She looks at him. He's already looking at her, again, with that unreadable, calm expression. White and whispering, you've got to be kidding me. Narration, and just like that, I was about to step into the world of the boy, who never spoke, and learn the language only hearts could understand. Scene, late afternoon in the art music collaboration room. The sky is painted soft gold. Tae-hyung tunes his violin, while Whiten sits nearby, sketchbook open, pencil still. Whiten glancing at him, nervous. I guess we should talk about the project. Tae-hyung doesn't respond. He lifts his violin gently, testing a note. His fingers move with practice. He's calm, delicate, intentional. Whiten trying again, soft smile, or we could just let you play, and I'll try to catch up. Tae-hyung's lips curve slightly. It's not quite a smile, more like a silent reply. Then he plays. The notes are slow, heavy, almost hesitant. Whiten watching him, breathes out. That's beautiful. It feels like someone walking through fog, searching for something. He lowers the bow, meeting her eyes for a moment. Nods once. His gaze is quiet, intense. Whiten tilting her head. You speak through that, don't you? He doesn't answer. Instead, he lifts the violin again and plays a gentler, lighter string like a whisper of hope. Whiten smiling softly. That single quote as ... warm. After something cool. A memory. Maybe. Tae-hyung closes his eyes briefly. When he opens them, there's something unreadable in them, something like agreement. Or maybe surprise. Whiten growing braver. Do you ever miss speaking? Or is music enough for you? Tae-hyung holds her gaze. Slowly, he raises his hand. One finger points to his heart. Then, he moves it to his violin. Whiten eyes. You under a tree, alone, but not lonely. The sky is open, but there's no one else around. He studies the sketch quietly. Then he gently taps the violin case with one finger and points to the drawing, his way of saying, you felt it right. Whiten grinning, so I guess we understand each other now, without words. Scene changes. Rain begins to fall outside. The room turns a little dimmer. cozier, Taehyung wipes his violin carefully. White-un hesitates before speaking. White-un softly, "Can I ask you something personal?" He glances at her, doesn't nod, doesn't shake his head, just waits. White-un gently, "Why don't you talk? I mean, you don't have to answer, but I've been wondering. Double quotes. Taehyung is quiet for a long moment. Then he sets his violin down. He takes out a small notebook from his bag, flips to a page, and slides it over to her. It reads, "Because sometimes words ruin things." White-un reads it, then looks up at him. Her eyes soften. White-un whispers, "But your music." It heals. Taehyung finally smiles. A real one. Small, but there she smiles. Back, a moment of quiet understanding blooming between them. The rain continues outside, but inside, something begins to warm. Like the first note of a song not yet written. Scene. 1 week later, the two now meet daily after class, working on their project. They sit side by side in a quiet room filled with soft light and the faint scent of old wood and rain-damp earth. Taehyung finishes playing a gentle tune. White-un, cross-legged on the floor, shades in the final detail of a new sketch. A boy playing violin beneath a cracked guy. White-un closing her sketchbook softly, "Your melodies. They always start like they're remembering something, but then they feel like they're trying to forget." Taehyung stares at the floor for a moment. Then he writes something in his notebook and passes it to her. It reads, "That's exactly what they are. Double quotes. White-un quietly, "Is it okay if I ask what you're trying to forget?" He doesn't flinch, doesn't look away. Instead, he stands slowly. Walks toward the cabinet on the far wall and pulls out an old folder. He hesitates, then hands it to her. Inside, there's a newspaper clipping. White-un reads aloud. White-un softly, "Local family dies in house fire. Only son survives. B. You." Taehyung nods slowly. His jaw tightens, eyes flickering with pain that he doesn't try to hide. White-un almost a whisper. After a long pause, my mom used to say I was born too soft for this world every time I cried too much or felt too deeply. She breathes in slowly, then continues. Why, she left when I was 11. Said she needed to breathe without breaking. I used to think maybe I was the reason she couldn't quiet chuckle, so I started drawing instead of speaking. It was easier, safer. Taehyung doesn't write anything. He simply slides his notebook across the floor, one sentence already written. Warm with understanding, lock on hers for a long moment. Their names are called. It's time. They step onto the stage. The audience is silent. The spotlight is blinding at first, but then it softens as Taehyung lifts his violin, and White unpositions herself beside him. Ready to reveal their creation, Taehyung starts playing. The first note is a soft, lonely whisper, but as the song unfolds, the music becomes something alive, something that breathes, that heals. Each note carries the weight of their shared silence, their shared pain, and their newfound understanding. Wyvern watches him play, her heart racing. She knows every note is dot more than just music. It's their story, it's everything they've kept, hidden for so long. As Taehyung plays, White begins to draw in real time on the large canvas beside them. She sketches the emotions the music stirs. Inside her, fragments of their journey, broken moments, quiet conversations, shared smiles. The image on the canvas comes together as Taehyung's melody weaves through the room. The music swells, a beautiful and heartbreaking crescendo. The final notes echo, and for a brief moment, the entire hall is still silent. The applause is sudden, overwhelming. Why then looks at Taehyung, her eyes filled with emotion. She can't find the words, but she doesn't need them. He looks back at her, his gaze filled with something unspoken, something deep and true. After the performance, the room clears. Whiteun and Taehyung are left alone backstage, the weight of the moment still heavy between them. Whiteun softly, almost breathless, Taehyung, that was everything. He lowers his violin carefully, and this time, he does something unexpected. He takes a deep breath, glances at her, and for the first time in their entire journey, his lips move. Taehyung soft but clear, thank you. Whiteun's eyes widen, a tear slipping down her cheek. She laughs, a little shakily, because hearing his voice is like hearing a long-lost melody come back home. Whiteun choked up. You spoke. You spoke. Laugh softly. You didn't have to, but I'm so glad you did. Taehyung gives her a small, tender smile. He steps closer, his hand brushing against hers. His eyes soften with gratitude. Taehyung quietly, you've always heard me. Without words, they stand there for a moment, the world fading away around them in that brief, perfect silence. They don't need any more words, they've already said everything. A few weeks after their performance, it's late afternoon, and the sun is beginning to dip behind the horizon. TAEHYUNG and Whiteun are sitting on a bench outside the university, near the gardens. The air is cool, and the world feels peaceful. Whiteun smiling, watching the sky. It's strange, you know, how we can get so used to silence. But then, one word, one moment, can change everything. Taehyung is sitting beside her, his expression soft. He glances at her and then looks out at the horizon. His fingers gently tap against the side of his violin case, a quiet rhythm that mirrors the beating of his heart. Whiteun gently, curious, do you ever wish you spoke more? I mean, after everything, a little dot more now, still soft, but growing more comfortable with his dot voice around White Un. White, I'm laughing. So, what about after graduation? Are you planning to stay dot here, or do you have a grand escape plan? Taehyung raises an eyebrow, then grins. Taehyung softly, maybe I'll just follow the music. Wherever it takes me. Double quotes. White and teasingly, you mean you'll follow the silence? Taehyung chuckles, then turns serious. His expression softens as he looks at her. Taehyung quietly, I want to go wherever you're going, as long as we don't have dot to hide behind silence anymore. Why? A few months later, the collaborative project between White Un and Taehyung has gained significant attention. Their work has been featured in our exhibitions, and Taehyung's violin performances are now attended by larger crowds. But with the growing success comes new pressures. Today, they're in a meeting with a prestigious music agency that's interested in signing Taehyung as a solo artist. White Un sits beside him, her fingers nervously tracing the edge of the table. Taehyung, though calm on the outside, has an unreadable expression. He looks down at his violin case, lost in thought. Agency representative smiling, addressing Taehyung, we've seen your work, Taehyung. Your music, it's incredible. We want to take you to the next level. You could be the next big thing in the music world. We've got the resources, the connections, everything you need. But of course, we need you to perform solo without distractions. The words hang in the air. White Un looks at Taehyung, her heart beating faster. She can tell that this is more than just an opportunity for him. This is a crossroads. Taehyung, who Dot has always been quiet, has lived in silence to protect himself. Could he really step into the spotlight alone? And if so, where does she fit in this future? Widen softly to Taehyung. Are you okay with this? Taehyung doesn't answer immediately. His eyes flicker with uncertainty. His fingers tighten around his violin case. Dot writes something quickly in his notebook and slides it to her. It reads, I've always been alone. Yen, is it wrong to be alone now? While En's heart sinks, she takes a deep breath, trying to gather her thoughts. Yen gently, it's not wrong, Taehyung, but you don't have to be alone in this. You don't have to choose between them and me. We've built something beautiful, and we're stronger together. He looks at her, the weight of her words sinking in. The agency representative notices the silence and gives a small, amused smile. Agency representative leaning forward, you'd have quite the bond. I see, but make no mistake. Taehyung, this opportunity won't wait forever. There's a lot at stake. Taehyung finally looks up, his gaze firm but conflicted. He stands up slowly, his chair scraping against the floor, his eyes locked with Yen's. Taehyung soft but resolute, writing one last time, I need to make my own choices now. But I want you with me. Yen, always. While En's chest tightens, she stands and steps toward him, taking his hand in hers. For a brief moment, their world feels like it's just the two of them. Yen whispering, I'm with you, no matter what you choose. But just remember, you're not alone in this world anymore. TAEHYUNG, not with me by your side. One evening, after another long rehearsal, Taehyung sits alone in his room, staring at the empty space around him, the weight of the contract, the expectations. It reads, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm scared of losing everything I built. I can't keep pretending like everything is fine when it's not. While En's heart aches, she takes a deep breath, her own fears and insecurities coming to the surface. She holds his gaze. Yen softly, you're not pretending, Taehyung. You're just lost. And that's okay. But you don't have to carry this burden alone. Not anymore. Taehyung's eyes glisten, his voice barely a whisper. Taehyung quietly, I don't want to lose you, but I feel like I'm losing myself in all of this. Yen reaches out and takes his hand in hers, pulling him gently toward her. She speaks, her voice steady and full of conviction. Yen softly, but with strength, you're not losing yourself. You're just finding who you are now. And I'll be here every step of the way. We'll figure this out together. The weight of their conversation lingers in the air, but it's not as heavy as before. Taehyung leans into her, his head resting against her shoulder. They sit there in silence, but this time, the silence is different. It's no longer a wall, but a quiet space where they can share their fears, their hopes, and their journey together. Scene transitions to several weeks later. Taehyung's career continues to rise, but now he's learning to balance his newfound fame with his relationship with Hwyun. They face challenges. Yes, but they also find comfort in their bond knowing that together they can weather anything. Scene a few months later. Taehyung and Hwyun have both grown in their careers and in their bond. Life is calm now, the storms behind them, and love gently blooming in the smallest, quietest moments. It's a peaceful morning. Sunlight spills through the large windows of their cozy apartment. Hwyun is painting near the balcony, while Taehyung hums softly, tuning his violin. Their lives have finally got a line dash like a soft symphony in perfect harmony. Taehyung glancing up at her with a smile in his eyes. You know, this feels like a dream sometimes. Double quotes. Hwyun pausing, brushing her fingers over her canvas, then smiling. They're on a hilltop just before sunset, a picnic spread laid out, their laughter echoing softly, Taehyung leaning back, looking at the sky. You know what I've realized. Hwyun resting her head on his shoulder. What? Taehyung gently. Our love, it's not a love song. It's a symphony, quiet in places, intense in others, full of pauses and crescendos. But it's ours. Double quotes. White. I'm smiling, whispering like a secret, and it'll play for a lifetime. The sky turns golden. He kisses the top of her head, and they sit there in peace.